Who are you and what parts of your identity shape how you move through the world right now?
So I'm Brenda. I would say I'm a few things, also very dependent on the context actually, but I would say, yeah, I'm a designer. I'm very moved by creating concepts that dismantle Eurocentric norms and ideas about Black culture, Black communities, Black identity. Yes, so another part of my identity is also working as a mediator and telling stories, which I'm really enjoying, telling stories, especially about other creatives and sharing them with the bigger audience.
What does your creative practice look like right now, and what keeps you committed to it, even when it's difficult?
My creative practice right now is definitely growing my network, building Akua studios, also producing work, creative work, producing interviews and videos. I feel like I need to also divide myself into many pieces, but it's fun. It keeps me going. I know that what I'm doing is meaningful and makes sense and contributes to a very necessary and important shift. And what keeps me committed to it is receiving resonance from the community, like sharing my ideas, sharing my thoughts and my passion, and then also receiving good feedback. There are times, you're working on something and it makes sense and it's meaningful, but then you just find yourself in this loop where you're not sure anymore what you're actually doing and is it even necessary? Do people need that? And getting out of these thoughts and actually talking to people, seeing their faces and what they think about it, that's just, that's what keeps me going, I think.
What is Akua Studios and what kind of space are you trying to create through it?
Akua Studios is a curated talent network of creatives working in behind-the-scenes roles such as photographers, videographers, stylists, producers. The aim is to position them at the heart of creative discourse. We're doing that through audiovisual interviews, just portraits, asking them various questions about themselves, about their way of working and their lens on the creative industries, how they envision or would like the industry to evolve in the next few years. Yeah, the aim is also to create a network where the creatives on the Akua Studios, where they can collaborate with each other, get to know each other. There's also this bookstore, this online bookstore where photography and design books are being sold. Also a calendar that promotes events and production. Ideally, Akua Studios becomes this ecosystem that lives of different kind of layers and aspects that feed into each other. I would like also this platform to be like a pool where other brands and companies interested in excellent talent contact us to enhance their production teams and their creative works.
Can you recall a moment or experience that made you realize this is the work you want to do?
There have been many moments. The creative industry performs being such a diverse industry to the outside world. But yeah, Black creatives still need to struggle so much. They have to do triple the work actually to be seen. So many times when we work on something, it always gets into this racism or discrimination boxes. It always has to educate white people about something we are struggling with, and that whenever a white creative works on something, it's immediately seen as this global thing. And I feel like when Black creative often works on something, it's like it has to be tied to struggles or, And I think also just the visual representation in the creative industries where we are there. Visual representation does exist and it works, but the people who work on these productions that do the creative works are predominantly white, and this is still a reality. It's just also not authentic. These works, they don't really represent the truth. So I'm all about the truth. And that would mean that the people who produce work we are constantly surrounded with need to represent us.
What does feeling stuck look like for you, especially in environments where you might not feel fully seen?
Oftentimes when I feel stuck, I find myself in spaces where I'm the only non-white person often. As a Black creative, as a Black person, then I don't know, me, myself, I then sometimes often find myself trying to be someone I'm not, or doing things I usually won't really do. And then I'm trying to adapt to the majority. And yeah, this often leads to being, at one point, just finding yourself being stuck because it's not you, it does not resonate with you. So of course, you cannot push through for a very long time. At one point, yeah, your heart is just gonna say, or your whole body will just not function really anymore.
What does visibility mean to you as a Black creative in Europe? And when do you feel most seen or unseen?
I think visibility means to me, to enter a room and be seen for what I'm actually doing. When I can be creative, but when I can also fail, when I can experiment and there's space for it. When I'm in a room where I'm not the only Black person, because that also means, okay, I'm in a room where shift happens, I'm in a room, especially when we're talking about the European context, and not just when I'm not the only Black person and there's one more, but when there are more than just two, which I actually had more in Amsterdam, when you really feel like, okay, people are really investing into plural perspectives, people who want to create outputs that represent the real diversity of our society, the realness, it's about truth.
What has surprised you most about working in the Swiss creative industry, positively or negatively?
I think positively that many young people from the community are doing amazing stuff and are really trying to contribute to more non-white creative outputs, or investing into non-Eurocentric movements in the city or in the country. When I started studying here, design, I think it's around 60 students. I was shocked because I was the only Black person. Such a surprise to me, and it also says a lot. That really has to change. That really, really has to change. And I do not feel represented at my university at all. It cannot be that among 60 students in design, there's one only Black person. Even felt rebellious working on my project, because I was like, it's really needed still. It's so necessary to work on a space, on a platform that amplifies Black voices and creativity and experiences.
How would you wish to see the creative industries evolve in the next 5 years?
So what I would wish to see, a lot of creative agencies from our community, like production agencies or advertising agencies, where we are the decision makers, where we decide what's gonna be seen, I don't know, what we're gonna be surrounded with in our everyday lives. That's a huge wish of mine. And I also actually hope, I would love to have in some years to own my own agency, creative agency with fellow creatives, fellow Black creatives. That would be insane. And I think it would change a lot if we had more of that. It would be